Game resumed.
What is going on, gamers? This is Token Gaijin here with your scrub play of the day, here with my boy Deathwraith.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And we'll be bringing you the PZ or ZP team, and we're going to be versing McLovin. Oh wow, that's original. And TWSG Bubs. He is two weird sexual goblins, and they're Bubsley. And as you can see, we were playing a Protoss random, so we weren't really actually sure kind of what I think it was Bubs was.
But, oh yeah, Bubs was random.
Yeah, Bubs was random. But we're playing on this crazy ass map, which his name of course eludes me at this time. But this map is
Isle of Slaughter.
Isle of Slaughter. This is actually a really cool map. It's really kind of built for turtling, which is kind of what a lot of teams will do, and we're going to take advantage of that as well, because if you let a Zerg expand, you are going to basically be fucking yourself in the ass with a giant dildo that has spikes on it. And you kind of won't want to do that, so I'm going to take advantage of that and utilize my giant spiked dildo to do some anal pleasure. And as you can see, I'm going for my usual, I get 10 drones, extractor trick, and I'm going to be going into a 15 fast expand here. And the reason why I'm expanding here is I don't even really get the creep highway as big as I'd like it to. But you always try to want to make your expansions planned out as a Zerg so you don't creep into your friendly Protoss. And Deathwraith looks like you're going for standard start here.
Yeah, I was going for and go for a little bit too long into a 3-gate robo kind of play. It's more of an economic 3-gate robo. If any of you have watched Imba Bills or anything along those lines, if you've seen Duck Duck's 3-gate, that is a much more aggressive version of what I'll be doing.
Now, one of the I'm pointing at the grass here. One of the big things on this map that we've kind of noticed is this draw distance is huge. Because look, you've got these natural rocks right here. And then you kind of go out the ramp, you got to circle all the way around down this ramp, and then across the entire map, unless you want to break these rocks. So, really kind of the one thing that we've been noticing is we've actually seen some Zerg teams we played against try to do like a 10-pull rush or speedling rush. It's really a dumb idea on this map. This draw distance is just way too goddamn big.
The rush distance is deceptive. It looks short, but you got to squiggle on the whole map.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a great map for air cheese, mutas. You know, you get some oracles. Yeah, some banshees. Great for airplay, but against two Protoss, we do finally see that they are both Protoss. We see the Forge here. Deathwraith getting a lot of nice little scouting on. You know, we see that they're not really doing anything too devious at the moment. I mean, they're getting cannons, so it's going to be a very defensive
play. Now, if you pause it here,
Game paused.
That what you see starting here, these two cannons, or cannons in general, is what ends up being the difference between me and Bubs.
Yep, and as you can see, Bubs too, while we're paused, he's just started on gas. He's got two assimilators down, and he went for cannons first, so I'm really not sure as to why he built two right off the bat to switch full gas. You should just build one and mine it kind of, loosely while you're doing cannons, and then build the second one when you want to start utilizing it. He kind of just wasted these minerals and spent no time mining at all, so I don't know, maybe it's just a timing thing for me. I feel like it's ill-advised.
With that, I mean, if you want those cannons to be any good, I mean, I assume what he's trying to prevent is some sort of Zergling run by. You've got this huge gap here.
Yeah.
The Zerglings are just going to run right past.
And not only that,
So,
I mean, anyone that
invested in a Zealot.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, if anyone who's played this map knows, like, I'm not going to be doing a 10-pull. By the time I got 5 links down here, you've already got 2 cannons. You're going to get Zealots out. You got a Robo on the way. Like, look, he's got a Robo on the goddamn way. You think I'm going to attack with Zerglings? Hell no! I'm going to get this expansion right here. Right here! And as you can see, I'm getting my expansion down. My main is still getting some drones on it. I'm getting a queen out here. I'm a little late on the queen up my second hatchery, which kind of pisses me off. I usually like to drop both queens at the same time if I time it correctly. However, I'm not paying full attention and being retarded, so I'm retarded. And basically just kind of keep droning up, and at this point, since I saw 2 toss, I've decided I'm going to get some banelings, and this is kind of a weird tech play. I'm getting banelings into roaches, and then I'm going to switch and get hydras. The reason why I'm getting the banelings is simple. I want to get a lot of bang for my buck because you're always going to get speedlings. They're kind of the universal Zerg unit. But also, since they are cannoning and walling in, I kind of originally wanted to scare the shit out of them with banelings. But as you can see through this replay, it really kind of doesn't work out that way. I kind of just build a couple and don't really utilize them. But I do get some lucky baneling kills, what we'll see later. And as you can see, Deathwraith getting a nice little quick expansion too, so it is going to be an economic game for us.
What the minute I saw, now unfortunately I did miss the robotics facility up here. That would have been a huge tell for me. But the minute I saw those 2 cannons down, I was like, well, okay, they're not good. They can't move out with units. They just spent them on buildings. So I immediately dropped down that Nexus. Now I end up not using this robotics facility a whole bunch. I've still got, the gateways down, but right now, I mean, if you flip over to income, the difference between the light blue and me, the red, is staggering. It's huge.
Actually, the difference...
Those 2 cannons have cost him an expansion. And you see over here again, you'll start to see him near the other one that he's just building, that he'll start to build cannons around that. And that's very indicative of one thing and one thing only. But I'll let Gaijin get back into talking here.
Yeah, I mean, as you can already see it kind of here, you can see TWSG Bubs going right into Stargate play, getting the second out. But the thing is they're just spending their econ just way too kind of loosely. They really haven't scouted us out too well. They really don't know kind of what we're doing at this point. And we got a good peek at their base.
These 3 Stargates, Bubs cannot possibly... I mean, he doesn't even have a second base. He can't possibly fuel all 3 of those Stargates. If he dropped 1, maybe. But as you can see, he's only producing out of 1 at a time.
Yeah, and that's not smart to do.
The minute that I saw that he was putting cannons down at his natural, I'm like, okay, he's going Void Ray. That's generally what you do if you've got... now, what I did not notice, if you take a look at my second base, he's got an observer here.
Right there, yeah.
Entire game.
I really didn't even notice that
I never even see it.
Never saw it either. I think the kind of funny thing, too, though, as you can see, is just like... the fact that they did get scouting on us, but they really didn't do too much to stop us. And the big thing is you can see them getting these second bases down, but at this point, as you see, we're paused at the 8-minute and 56-second mark. I've already got my second base. I've already got, 7 workers just kind of working away. McLovin does have a little bit more as far as workers on his second base, but I've had mine up a little longer. Not only that, my main has been, being pumped out, and I'm getting not only a third down now, too. So I've been just kind of economing, playing it safe, teching up, as I want to. And as you can see, I'm getting quite a few lings going a conga line across the map, which is going to kind of play pivotal, as I'm also teching into Hydra's roaches. I'm getting centrifugal hooks. Well, let's go from here to the not the spending tab, the production tab. At this point in the game, you can see that Deathwraith is kind of only getting, ground 1 and then also ground armor. But at this time...
I was planning on using the robotics facility. At this point, just before now, I had not confirmed that there were indeed going Void Rays.
Right.
I was like, okay, I saw with the previous scout, I saw a couple of Stalkers and some Zealots. And I was like, okay, well, Colossus are good against that. But another thing to notice here, McLovin drops down this robo facility, pumps out 1 observer, and never uses the building again.
Yeah. Just kind of sits there. I mean, and even
build things that you use.
And even you look at this time, I mean, we're getting more bases down, and not only that, I mean, I'm getting a lot of tech down. Centrifugal hooks, I'm getting tunneling claws out right now. So we got a lot of tech kind of coming down. So let's get back into it. I want to go back to the. Actually, I'll just stay on the production tab. Now, as you can see, my conga line of Zerglings just coming, or Speedlings, coming across the map. Deathwraith spots us with his observer. I'm just like, oh hey, that pylon's finishing. That's a free 100 minerals. I should have waited for the fucking Nexus to finish. But, of course, I like pylons, so I'm going to snipe that. He cancels that. And I decide, hey, that's good enough for me. Stop the expansion. I'm going to send my speedlings up here, up the ramp. And since there is this nice little grassy area right here, I'm going to start making some banelings. McLovin getting his 1 probe up here. My little Zergling's going to go poke him. He's just like, hell no, you can't see me. But I'm just going to morph him into a baneling and not give a fuck about him anymore. And I'm going to do a little baneling poke. Now, this is a very fail baneling poke. I'm going to be completely honest. Not exactly my proudest moment. Especially, just not... Yay, probe gone. Just not as economically sound as I'd like it to be. I mean, for the amount of banelings that I do have, which believe I have like
Flip over to units lost.
Yeah, 17.
During this attack.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm just wasting away my units. Units lost. So I have a lot of units lost. I'm at 16 right now. So not exactly the best attack to do, but it does kind of give us insight into the voids. It does kind of give us insight into the cannon. So now we're just like, okay, my tech
that
choice...
was the key moment.
Yes.
You'll see right now that I'm producing one Colossus and doing extended thermal lances. But the minute that I see that void, I cut both of those. I've got 3 Stargates put down, unfortunately, right next to his... right under his observer. I do let the ground upgrades finish because I know that I'm going to need Blink, which I do drop down the Twilight Council for. I don't know if I ever end up getting it, though.
But the big thing is, too, I mean,
Whoops.
we've got a really big army. I'm starting to go into Hydra and Roach, because Roach Hydra is just a heinously awesome combination against Protoss. You get the anti-air that you need, and Protoss air isn't exactly the quickest thing in the arsenal, except for Phoenixes, of course, so I guess I can't really say that. But usually you don't see too many Phoenix play unless you're going mutas, or you just see him being a dick harassing your overlords. So I'm going into and I already saw the Void, so we know where he's committing to Voids. Roach Hydra is going to be a great combination because the Roaches just kind of tank the ground. The Hydras hit the air and also can just destroy anything that is really slow and bulky. So I'm going to keep droning up on my 3 bases right now, getting a couple spines just to play it safe, get some defenses. We weren't really sure when they were going to push out. And as you can see, Deathwraith getting a nice little third here as well. And it looks like McLovin finally expanding out and getting a third as well. A little further out than you would have thought.
If you, oh yeah, I get hit with an Oracle here pretty good. Let me see. He gets 8 of my probes.
Yeah, I tried. I was kind of blocking them, being an idiot. I did my all-army instead of just hitting the Hydras to try to help them out. So wasn't exactly the best teamwork right there on my part. But we do manage to still scrape by, and Deathwraith is still generally well protected. As you can see, getting a couple spore crawlers in my mineral lines themselves to make sure that we are well defended. And I do spot this pylon here, so I'm just like, yeah.
And I was like, oh no, no, not in my house. Yeah, we go running forward at that point to kill that, and it looks as though McLovin plans to make an attack here. Because he does move forward. Now, he has these HTs, and they do all have just enough energy for Storm, which could be devastating, but you'll see that it doesn't actually get used at all.
No, it's not utilized well, at least. As you can see, McLovin making a huge kind of wall in at his base. But, like, this isn't a very good wall in. I really don't know if he's just kind of doing it just to have shit close to his base, so, like, if pylons fall, he'll be fine. But then you realize he's getting cannons in between this. It's just like, what is he expecting? If I built speedlings and ran by this base, he'd be fucked. Like, that's horrible. That's just a waste of minerals. Like, look how many cannons he has, too. 5?
Yeah, the same with Bubs. But right here is the attack that he starts to make. Photon overcharge, he knows he's not getting anywhere with that. And then he's like, oh wait, the Zerg's here too. Now this is key. While he's retreating, you don't see a single storm. And, you know, while Banelings weren't effective at first, there it is.
Banelings. Now, as you can see, we're a little outnumbered here in the Stalker count. My forces trying to do some pot shots on these Stalkers, but these Zealots doing a nice little work. He's able to start sweeping and getting a lot of nice kills on my units, but he doesn't see that I have a lot of reinforcements coming, and Deathwraith's just massive Void Mount and Stalkers. Too much when my reinforcements get here. They have to bug out. Deathwraith able to clean up all the voids that his partner has brought to the party, and we're just going to start sniping this base. I'm moving my Zerg forces down to the low ground now so we can sweep in and take this out. As you can see, this entire time I'm re-upping. I got 14 more Hydras on the way. I got 1 more Queen being busted out. So we are getting a lot of reinforcements on the back end of this, just making sure we're constantly building out troops. It does look like Bubs is getting out 5 Void Wraiths, Death Wraiths 3 re-up, but still, Voids are a terrible choice at this point.
You know, even then, he doesn't really have a terribly large amount of economy to support that.
No.
You'll see that McLovin is trying to get upgrades at this point, which unfortunately he does not have. You do see 2 or 3 good storms landed there. I never did notice that he actually used the storm.
Yeah, he did.
Controlling the Void Rays at the time.
He
But
did.
At this point, I'm like, you know what? I don't care about your cannons. I'm going to prismatic
annihilate.
alignment and take them down in probably 2 or 3 shots.
Yeah, he did get a couple good storms out, especially against my Hydralisks. Storms are very good against Hydralisks. They're light units. But the roaches that got hit by him, I mean, they're still kind of in orange or yellow. They just don't give a fuck. Roaches are nice and bulky. I love Roach. That's why Roach Hydra is such a good combination, because it's very versatile. You get the ground pound plus some anti-air. It's a really hard force for Protoss to get, so I'm just going to kind of sweep in here. We're just like, fuck it. We're going to go this way, but we see the rocks are gone.
At this point, now look at the production. There are 10 photon cannons in production for Bubs.
Why, I do not know. And as you can see, my Roach Hydra army just coming up this ramp. No fucks to give. Just sweeping in. Just too much for them to handle. I got this nice troop allotment. And even though I lose a ton of forces, I'm able to just annihilate this force defending. And I also have a lot of forces incoming and 13 Hydras on the back end of this. So really, just the unrelenting production that I'm able to produce because they let me econ is just not going to be in their favor. And really, just, I mean, look at all these fucking probes he's got on his second base. Good lord. I don't even know how many probes this is, but it's a lot. Look at that.
Whom?
Look at McLovin.
Oh dear.
But
Well,
really,
that's bad.
but really, this kind of goes to show. I mean, it's okay to econ and turtle and get some defenses, but just so many goddamn cannons. So many.
A cannon is a last resort. It's the same as having a gateway. And you could have had, let's see, 13, 15 gateways for Bubs. And there were about 6 more gateways for McLovin. Now, I mean, the key thing that set me apart from Bubs was not even my void rate count, because he started before me. Because I started that 3rd base sooner, I didn't place any cannons, I had other forces to back it up.
Yep, and another
Did I ever... Alright, I have to see now. Did I ever get Blink, or did I just toss that down and not do anything with it? No, I didn't.
But also,
Wah, wah, wah.
also here too, I mean, look, they knew we were attacking this. This ramp was gone. Look at where he built the cannons. He built them on a base we weren't even heading to. He's got he's got 14 total cannons, most of which are defending a base that we could give a fuck about. We're literally just walking around it. Not smart. I mean, really, the big key here is on big maps where you're allowed to econ, you need to make sure that you're econing wisely. Spending it on cannons and emplacements can help, but you really don't want too many, because cannons aren't going to stop Roach Hydra. It's not going to stop Voids with prismatic alignment. It's not going to stop teched up troops. And really, even if they do fend off, a wave or two, the fact that we have so much more production than them is really going to kill them. I mean, look, I'm a Zerg. I go off of freaking hives, and I've got 1, 2, 3, and a 4th base going down. And not only that, I'm econing off of 3 of them. Didn't even really get to get my econ on my 4th one up yet, because we just started destroying them. And it's really kind of a testament to how you want to think about playing, because one of the things that you'll see a lot in the lower leagues, and one of the things you kind of want to do in the lower leagues, is you really kind of want to just, sit back, relax, kind of get those defenses. You're always afraid of being hit. But the thing is you can't always just turtle up full. I mean, it's good to defend your base and allow yourself to, to econ. But if you turtle up too much, you let your opponent get map control, or you allow your opponent to, get a better lead in production, or even economy, or even both, they're just going to just pile drive you, because defenses are great, but you know what? Walls only hold so long. They only do.
And rather than those cannons will never move. You cannot attack with them.
Nope.
Rather than the cannons, spend it on army.
Yeah, I mean,
again, cannons are a last resort, or something you leave there to slow things down so that our harassment doesn't get in. Like, say, that Oracle. It would have been nice if I had a cannon there, but yeah, it boils down to, I mean, just out of curiosity, that is 74 probes right there on one base. That is terrible.
Well, some of them move
You're
from
only
the.
supposed to have 24.
Some of them move from the base that we destroyed. So, to be fair.
Yeah, well. But
It's still 74
each
bucks,
one of
obviously.
those that you throw down is not helping you.
No.
It's especially when there's multiple. Really, the only time you throw down multiple cannons is if you are going to die if you don't.
I mean, think about
It
this.
is imminent. There are troops on the way, like 7 Roach Rush, and you went Forge, Fast Expand. Okay, throw down 2 or 3 cannons, because if you don't, the roaches are going to run over your face.
Not only that, I mean, think about it. 2 cannons equals 1 of my bases. I can build an entire base for 2 cannons. Building that many cannons, I'm going to be able to easily out-econ you, because look at all your, your useless spending. And kind of the big thing, too, is, like, look how joined together they are. Yes, I stopped doing Banelings, but if I Baneling busted this, oh, the splash damage alone would slaughter these cannons. It's just really not wise in the way they're grouping them. There's only 2 pylons powering them. I mean, it's really just kind of useless. You really don't want to do this, and that's really kind of the thing you got to take away from is you got to make sure that you're building units that not only counter your opponents, but make sure that you have a versatile army, because I was able to take on most of this ramp by myself because my army was made to fight both players pretty effectively. Roach Hydra is a very versatile build for Zerg, and I really, really like using against Protoss just because Protoss have a hard time countering. I mean, they can get Archons, they can get Immortals, start slowing it down a little bit, but still, even with those 2 units, Roach Hydra is still just a tried and true because they're easy to mass produce. It allows you to have
It's cost efficient.
Yeah.
It's quick, and unless you have, I mean, Colossus is its one downfall. But all
not
you
so much
need
against
to do
Roaches,
now,
but
all you need to do now is add a Viper and pull those in. It's much quicker and easier to produce Roach Hydra than it is, say, a Colossus Archon army.
yeah.
But anyways, this particular game, it was just a difference of between econ, some scouting. They did have quite a bit of scouting on us,
But it's
but
tech.
mainly production.
Yeah, tech and
Or
production.
structures. They had structures they never used. They had structures that, as a matter of fact, aside from your Baneling, nothing got hit by cannons.
No. I mean, our forces when we attack, but, I wasn't even really noticing it.
Nope.
And no, I wouldn't even say that. I would say, troop production, too, because think about it. They had a lot of scouting that we didn't even see, and they saw that you had Stargates. They saw you had Stalkers. They saw that I had Roach Hydra. Why Voids? Why? Why? But anyway.
And he even had down the robotics facility. You would think that he would start producing some Colossus to at least counter you.
Well, not
not
him.
me.
Not really him. I mean, McLovin did have a smart idea when he went to the, HTs. He could have gone to Archon. He had a good thought, but Bub's just pure void. Nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else. Like, no tech switching. You need to make sure that you're tech switching. That's the big thing. And that's going to give us the GG. It was a really fun game. I actually had a really good time. I love this map. I actually think this is my favorite map just because it allows me as a Zerg to have the ability to get 3 bases and hold a nice little economy before most players attack. So I enjoyed a lot as a Zerg player. Just make sure that you're building wisely, especially if you're playing with a Protoss or Terran. Getting that creep high, whether as you can see, I started putting down some tumors to build it, but really no point at this time in the game because we were just able to just troll and stomp the hell out of them. So that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. We're going to be bringing you a lot more Scrubcraft games as the time goes on. Going to be trying to produce at least once a week, so keep it tuned in for Token Gaijin Gaming. We're going to have a lot more videos coming out. We're still going to get those comprehensive guides out for SWOTOR, also bringing them out for Guild Wars 2, and we're also getting them for Final Fantasy 14. And you're going to be seeing me and Deathwraith just talking about what me and him are doing. If you do play Guild Wars 2, me and him are going to be doing a video playthrough and also guides on that. That's going to be me and his kind of foray into a duo MMO setting. And if you haven't checked it out, we got a lot of SWOTOR and Scrubcraft already on the channel. 10 Tons of Bird Shit and Chilbro Swaggins is going to be coming back out too. I know a lot of you have been watching that. So just keep tuned into our channel. We're back. Holidays got a little hectic, but you know what? Now that it's over, we've got time to record.
Amen.
All right. See you guys next time.